关于这个视频不接受任何反驳。未来的必然，这个必然就是我们所有人最后都会走到这一步，也就是脱离指的那个觉知之路，并不是所谓的一些玄学或者神秘的体验，而是说我们每个人本来就有的那个觉知，那个维度才是真正的我们自己，也就是佛学的本来面目，阳明心学的无善无恶心之体。
Perceptions, of course. But see if you can be aware of yourself, in addition to being aware of whatever you happen to be aware of at that moment, people, nature, objects, the sky, walking. In addition to being aware of whatever you're aware of, can you be aware of yourself? Not the historical self that gets restless and impatient, but yourself as the conscious, the unconditioned consciousness, which is the same as what emerges when you listen to the silence right now, that self. Can you be aware while you're walking, sitting, eating, listening to people, or listening to other sounds? Can you be aware of the fact that you are aware, which means to be aware of yourself as the consciousness? That's a new way of living, and that's why we're here, in order to deepen our ability to live from that level that frees you from believing that all there is to you is your historical person, the little me. And that's a wonderful liberation. It's not that it no longer exists. The historical person continues to exist. It will also, the egoic self, if you identify with it, it becomes the ego. If you simply observe it, it's just the historical self. That's the difference. If you lose awareness, your historical person becomes an entity that you think is you. That's delusion. But if you're aware, the historical entity is still there, your person, your personal history, or whatever is in your mind is still there, but you, let's use a Buddhist term, you recognize that it is not who you are. And the Buddhist term would be, you recognize it as not self. That's an enormous liberation. So we're not eliminating who you are as a person. We are just adding a dimension to it, or rather, we don't do anything, we don't add it. We discover that there is another dimension to you, and then you begin to live from that deeper dimension, whereas the historical person and the personality still operates, but not as you anymore. It operates as a person. That means you become aware of your thoughts, you still have your opinions, but yourself isn't in your opinions, which means you hold them more lightly. You are not possessed by your opinions, because otherwise humans that have no awareness, they don't have opinions. The opinions have them. They don't even have thoughts. The thoughts have them. So that's the shift is, the person remains, but there is suddenly a depth to you that was there all the time. But because of the seductive or hypnotic nature of sensory experience, and more importantly, mental experience, You didn't know it was there. You didn't know the dimension of depth. You had been seduced out of the depth of who you are. So there is a pull to the mind. You cannot fight it. You can only be aware of it.